Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Won Dharma Center online Sunday service. By this service, not only we can study the Dharma, but also we can strengthen our karmic tie with the Buddha and his teaching. Having good karmic tie or Dharma affinity, according to the Buddha's word, is the most important and precious asset for practitioners. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about the third article of 4 articles to progress, zeal. Today I would like to talk about the last one, dedication or sincerity. This one, dedication. Some people translate that as sincerity. Faith, zeal, questioning, and dedication. Our founding master named that 4 articles to progress. So when we practitioners apply that to our practice, we can make our practice successful. When we apply these 4 articles to progress to our, for example, occupation, we can make our career successful. According to the Won Buddhist canon, the dedication of a definition goes in this way. Dedication means an unremitting state of mind, which is the motivating force that will achieve the objective when we try to accomplish anything. We all know this children's story, the hare and the tortoise story. When I heard that when I was in elementary school, it's not impressive. But when I become the minister, when I heard and contemplated that story, it has a great lesson. So one day, as we know, hare and the tortoise argued about who's faster. The rabbit thought it's really ridiculous. The tortoise thinks he's faster than him. Why don't we settle down our argument by actual race? They started, and after a couple of minutes, the rabbit looked back. He could not even see the turtle. So he took a nap under a tree, and finally, he fell into a very deep sleep, and that's why the tortoise won the race. The mindset of the tortoise is, or should be, the mindset of the practitioner, whether they are Buddhist, Christian, Muslim. With that type of attitude or mindset, we can win the race in whatever area. There's one very prominent and respected prime minister in Korea during the Joseon dynasty. He's a very smart person, but when he was young, he failed the civil service exam many times. He could not understand why he could not pass that exam. So one day, after he was reported he could not pass that examination, he felt very sorry about himself and very depressed in one rainy day. And he thought about but probably I better not take them. So becoming the high-ranking government official may not be my path. He happened to see the rock in front of his residence, which has a very deep depression inside the rock, because the water constantly dropped from the eaves of the roof of his house. Think about the power of trickling water. It's very weak, but that water dropped on the same spot repeatedly. It eventually made a very deep depression. So that scholar had a great lesson. So he's not supposed to give up. And then he collected his mind, and after some years, he passed that exam. Dedication, the definition of dedication, unremitting state of mind. Another translation goes, ceaselessness of the mind. When I was in Korea, it is before social SNS was developed. My niece called me and said she lost her dog, 1-year dog, a very small dog. And she really panicked. And she contacted lots of janitors of that apartment complex, but they have never saw that dog. She was determined to take her dog back. Do you know what she did? Of course, she put the poster, the dog's photo on each and every utility pole. Yeah, that's it. Not only that, whenever she has free time, she walked around that apartment and showed a picture of her dog. Each and every person that passed by the apartment, have you seen this dog? Have you seen this? She walked around the whole compartment for several weeks. One day, one person said, I saw that dog. Our janitor keeps that dog. And it is another apartment across the street. She finally got her dog. In many areas, there is not special or super spiritual, supernatural technique. In order to accomplish some goal, we have to do that repeatedly. There's no other way in many. If we repeatedly do that, then someday not only we can enhance our ability, the universe start to help us. Heaven helps those who help themselves, just like the Western saying. This is very well-known story from the Jataka, past life of the Buddha. One middle-aged fisherman lost a precious jewel. It's a family treasure in the ocean. He happened to drop that jewel while he was catching the fish. How can you get back that treasure? First of all, he didn't know where he dropped that jewel. The ocean is deep. But he decided in his mind. In the house, he prepared several buckets. From the next day, he went to the seashore and drew the water, put the water in the bucket, and walked to the nearby mountain and threw the water away. He did that all day long. day in, day out, year in, year out. He became eventually very old man. But village people thought it's a really ridiculous and a stupid thing. But he said to his friend, probably I could not dry this ocean while I was alive, but my sons can continue to do this job. And my grandsons can continue this job. He continued to throw the water and throw the water away to the mountain. So the sea god saw what that old man had been doing, and he was very moved. Actually, he surprised. Eventually, he may lost his house. And then the story goes that the sea god created a very severe storm, and the old man restored the jewel. The jewel implies our Buddha nature. That old fisherman is the Shakyamuni Buddha. He's a focused, dedicated, and continue to achieve his goal. That's one of the Jataka story. And why don't you close your eyes, and do we really have that kind of dedication, unremitting state of mind in whatever area, in our practice, in human relationship, even from breaking our bad habits or restoring good relationship? Let's contemplate for 1 minute. When you read the Won Buddhist canon, this passage you can encounter very often. 오래, translated for a long time, or after lengthy practice, or through continuous practice after long training, whether it's in the sitting meditation or timeless meditation, placeless. In many chapters of the principal book of Won Buddhism, you can see this type of expression, which means there is not that skillful method. We are doing something repeatedly to accomplish something. The president of the Won Buddhism graduate school is Reverend Kim Kyung-il. I met him last year when I visited Korea. When he was a pre-minister, he was not interested in studying Dharma. He could not absorb in meditation with so many thoughts and anger, lots of emotions. So he started to think about probably becoming minister is not my path. Definitely, I'm not cut for minister. One day, he met Venerable Daesung, our third head Dharma master. And he very honestly told, I cannot become motivated to walk on the spiritual path. Becoming minister may not be my path. But our third head Dharma master said in this way, when a person falls down 100 99 times, but he gets up 100 times, he will make it. If a person falls down 3 times, but he could not get up, he will fail. So at the time he was very young, he thought, wow, that really makes sense. And he's a great minister, a great Won Buddhist minister. When I first met the Venerable Dosung in my mid-20s, after I decided to become the Won Buddhist minister, I met him some greenhouse, very, very shabby, hot. Inside it's just spacious. And he asked the Venerable Jangsanim, and he pointed one Chinese calligraphy, 모개 보란. He asked the Venerable Jangsanim to explain that passage, 모개 보란. It means the hen sitting on eggs. Hen sitting on eggs. You know, hen is a very restless animal. It always wanders around pecking this thing and that thing. But the hen sits on eggs, it's not moving in order to provide warmth to the egg. When it's extremely hungry, he goes out and pecks something and immediately comes back. Probably that lesson, I have a kind of some rushing mind. Hasty mind is one of the biggest obstacles. Still, it's a very fitting, good lesson to me. 모개 보라. Kang Hyung-wook is a very well-known dog trainer in Korea. There are lots of his YouTube videos, so he's a celebrity in Korea. One day, I happened to watch that. And one person said, well, I tried to train my dog according to your recommendation, but my dog cannot be trained. Mr. Gang asked, how long did you try that? The lady said, I tried that for 10 days. Mr. Gang replied, training your dog for 10 days is the same as you didn't train your dog at all. At least you need to train your dog for 1 month. After she trained for a couple of months, the dog is changed. Whether it's a training dog, quit smoking, quit drinking, making our practice successful, make our human relationship successful in whatever area. Dedication, we are not supposed to forget dedication. The greater the goal is, the more it takes time, the more challenging we will encounter. So think about that. Just crossing over some thin stream is not the same as crossing over a vast ocean. So we can just take a relax and just walk on the Dharma path without giving up. One day, definitely, we reach our destination. As I always say, from 3 to 4, 4 to 5 o'clock, 5 to 6, it's still very dark. But from 6 to 6:05, within several minutes, the whole world becomes very, very bright. So be patient. That's why one of the 6 paramita. Paramita is a crossing over. 6 paramita, one of the 6 paramita, Buddha said, Kanti paramita. Kanti means endurance, perseverance. One day, Reverend Park Se-kyung was appointed as the superintendent of the dormitory in Korea. And it's a job which requires a lot of responsibility. She's very worried about it. She's not that able minister, and she's not that, she's a kind of a little introvert, etc. She's very anxious, so she asked to our 3rd head Dharma master, because of her appointment, she's really worried about. I don't know how to deal with my job. I'm not able, etc., she said. But our 3rd head Dharma master said, dedication gives rise to a great ability. If you are sincere and dedication, you can not only carry out that job, you will become very able person. Whether it's a mixed martial artist or boxer, when they hit the sandbag with their fist, when they practice, they are doing the same thing again and again every day. That's why Won Buddhist, it's a fatal, because they practiced that a lot. So usually at the end of a year, we often hear from the television the 4th movement of the 9th Symphony by Beethoven, Ode to Joy. We are very familiar with that melody. It's the 9th symphony, the last symphony by Beethoven. Beethoven composed, when he was in his mid-20s, he was very much impressed by the poem of Schiller, the German writer and the poet. He thought to himself, I will really compose some great music based on that poem. He started in his 20s. Before he died, it's his last symphony. He composed and corrected the music again and again. That's why it's very touching. It's very magnificent and solemn music. So whether it's, we know, do you know how many times Edison or Beethoven, their music prodigy, Edison is a genius. Do you know how many times he failed to invent the electric bulb? He experimented this filament inside the electric bulb, and that filament, they say he experimented and failed 6,000 times. But Edison didn't give up, didn't think 6,000 times as a failure. He just thought it's just a process to invent an electric bulb. Because of that invention, how conveniently we can live. Think about we are living without electric bulb. So when you are tempted to give up, or if it seems too slow or large, but I strongly encourage it. If you continue to do that, we can, in whatever area, we will eventually achieve our goal. Thank you.